Composting isn't just great for the environment, it can completely transform your garden. So, are you ready to turn everyday waste into new life? Why does compost smell bad? Here are the 7 most common mistakes people often make without realizing it. Have you ever wondered why compost sometimes smells bad, and why this is something that makes many beginners hesitant to start? In reality, the smell isn't just unpleasant. It's also a sign of what's happening inside the compost pile. Many people have told me that just walking near their compost bin makes them nervous, and some even quit altogether because of the odor. But did you know that the bad smell is simply a signal that something in the process isn't quite right? Today, I want to explore the real reasons behind this so we can understand them and fix them easily. Compost isn't just an eco-friendly solution. It's a meaningful way to reconnect with nature. Mistake number 1, adding too much moisture. Have you ever poured too much water or tossed in too many wet kitchen scraps? When a compost bin becomes overly wet, it turns anaerobic. This slows down decomposition and creates strong, unpleasant smells that can ruin the fresh feeling of your garden. A friend once told me that after accidentally dumping leftover vegetable broth into the bin, the smell lingered for an entire week. Experts say compost needs a balance of moisture and airflow. When it gets too wet, anaerobic bacteria grow fast and release foul-smelling gases. A simple trick: squeeze a handful of compost. If water drips out, it's time to add more dry materials right away. Mistake 2, adding cooked food. Cooked leftovers, rice, soup, oily foods, processed meals, can start to smell terrible in no time. They contain oil, seasonings, and extra moisture that slow down decomposition and attract flies, ants, and other unwelcome guests. Cooked food ferments quickly, producing odors and creating an overly damp environment that harmful bacteria love. I've had people tell me that even a small amount of cooked leftovers turn their compost bin into a smelly chaos. If you want smooth, odor-free composting, avoid cooked food as much as possible or treat it properly before adding it. Mistake number 3, not having enough ventilation. Imagine being locked in a room with no windows. It would feel suffocating, right? That's exactly how the microorganisms inside your compost feel without oxygen. When the compost lacks airflow, it becomes anaerobic and smelly, and the overall quality of the compost drops. Adding a few ventilation holes or improving airflow can make a huge difference. It's a small detail, but it plays a big role in creating clean, healthy compost. Mistake number 4, too much green material and not enough brown. If you add too many fresh kitchen scraps, but not enough dry material, like leaves or paper, your compost becomes sticky, wet, and smelly. That's a clear sign your greens are overpowering your browns. A friend once told me that simply mixing in a layer of dry leaves made her compost airy, fluffy, and much less smelly. Science backs this up. The right balance of greens and browns helps microbes work efficiently and prevents odors. Make sure to adjust this balance each time you add new materials. Mistake number 5, closing the lid too tightly. At first, this sounds like a smart way to prevent bugs and keep your compost clean. But an airtight bin traps gases inside, turning the compost anaerobic. Have you ever opened your compost bin and been hit with a strong, unpleasant smell? That's caused by trapped gases like hydrogen sulfide and ammonia. A friend once sealed her bin completely to avoid flies and ended up having to throw out the entire batch because the smell became unbearable. Compost needs to breathe just like a living organism. Mistake number 6, not turning the compost regularly. If compost sits untouched for too long, it gets compacted. The insides become airless and anaerobic bacteria take over, causing strong smells. Many people complain about smelly compost, but the solution is often simple. Turn it. Turning helps distribute moisture and heat evenly while bringing oxygen into every layer. Think of it like a closed room. If you never open the windows, the air becomes stale. But if you let fresh air in, things change instantly. Mistake number 7, adding the wrong types of waste. Some materials should never go into compost. Dairy, oil, fat, meat, fish. These break down slowly, smell terrible, and attract flies and rodents. Even a small amount of oil or meat can spoil the entire batch. A friend once added milk to her compost and eventually had to throw the whole bin away because of the overpowering odor. Avoid these materials completely if you want clean, safe compost. Most of us have felt nervous when opening a compost bin for the first time, wondering how bad it might smell. I remember that feeling well. A friend once told me she nearly quit composting because she couldn't deal with the odor. But this worry is totally normal. In fact, compost doesn't have to smell bad at all if you manage it correctly. Bad smells usually mean the compost is too wet, lacks oxygen, or has the wrong balance of ingredients. Simple steps like turning the compost and adjusting the moisture level can completely change the outcome. I've seen people transform a smelly bin just by adding a small amount of dry material. Over time, I learned that maintaining a green to brown balance and turning regularly not only removes odors but also speeds up decomposition. Have you ever wondered why some people always have clean, odor-free compost while others struggle with smells? It's not luck. It's observation, adjustment, and understanding how nature works. Sometimes, just one small detail makes all the difference. The secret to good composting lies in balancing green and brown materials. Greens, food scraps, coffee grounds, fresh leaves, add nitrogen and moisture. Browns, dry leaves, paper, sawdust add carbon and help absorb excess water. I often use a ratio of 2 parts brown to 1 part green and turn the bin weekly. This keeps the compost fluffy, airy, and odor-free. Moisture control is just as important. Too dry and the microbes slow down. Too wet and the compost starts to smell. A good test is squeezing a handful. It should feel like a wrung-out sponge. If it's too wet, add more dry materials. If too dry, sprinkle some water. Proper ventilation and turning the compost regularly are essential. A few holes in the bin or a weekly mix with a stick can dramatically improve airflow. I've seen entire compost systems go from smelly to fresh in just a few weeks thanks to this simple change. Sometimes, the smallest mistakes, like tossing in oily leftovers or not checking food waste carefully, can cause the worst smells. I've met people who struggled for weeks because they accidentally added the wrong ingredient. So always check what you're putting in. Those small details matter more than you think. Many people begin composting with fear. Fear of smell, fear of failure, fear of bothering neighbors. I remember feeling the same, but a friend once showed me that with patience and the right technique, compost can be clean, odorless, and truly rewarding. Every failure is a lesson, and every success is a reminder that living green is a meaningful journey. If you're just starting, give yourself time. Pay attention to small changes in your compost. Stay curious, and don't be afraid to ask questions. Composting is not just about making fertilizer. It's about watching life renew itself. Have you ever felt the joy of seeing new plants grow from soil you created yourself? It's an incredible feeling. Looking back, these 7 mistakes aren't just technical errors. They're valuable steps in learning how to live more sustainably. Clean, odorless composting helps the environment and gives us peace of mind, knowing we're making a positive impact. Anyone can start, with a small bin in the backyard or even a bucket on the balcony. Be patient, trust the process, and don't give up. Living green isn't a destination. It's a meaningful journey. If these insights were helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the Compost channel to continue this journey with me, turning household waste into rich compost and living greener every day. See you in the next video.